victoriously in Phaneroo.
A big percentage of Christians have misread the nature of our warfare. And how do I know? When we look at the defenses we have against our debt, against the sicknesses, against those who are fighting us and perhaps are more equipped physically than us, you find yourself asking God or any man around you, what shall we do? When you find yourself with an unplanned initiation of the soul, screaming, what should I do? I'm stuck. And that's the point you should know. The problem is not the things attacking you. The problem is not the people that have set themselves against you. The problem is that there is something that you're blind to in God. You're blind to his power, to what he has done through Christ at the cross, to the reinforcement that is available for you. 2 Kings chapter 6, the king of Syria is at war with Israel. They just don't seem to defeat Israel. And so he thinks among them is a spy. And one of his servants tells him, you know, my king, none of us is spying on you. But there is a prophet called Elisha. He is in Israel. He tells the king of Israel the words you speak in your bedroom. So when they identify this man, Elisha is in a city called Dothan. And so they go and surround the city. The servant of Elisha sees the army, the horses and the chariots. Alas, my master, what shall we do? And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. Then the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. When the Bible says, thanks be to God who always causes us to triumph. Always. For us, victory is not, we hope God will help us. For us, victory, it's an always. You enter this conversation when you already know the end of the conversation. The enemy attacks you, but you already know how it's going to end with him. For whatsoever is born of God, he didn't say may overcome the world. He says whatever is born of God overcomes the world. And this is the victory that has overcome the world. The fact that we believe it, our faith. You are walking into a territory where victory has been guaranteed. Never write yourself off under any situation, and it's never too late for God. There is nothing God cannot change. There is no situation that God cannot turn around. Let God be true and every man a liar. Now, there are about 4 lessons that I need to give you, and by these, you will wage your war. Number 1, your victory is not a future event. Your angels, your keepers, your guides are packed around you. Do you notice that the chariots of fire were already stationary? That Elisha does not pray for a divine intervention or a sudden rescue mission. Do you realize that he asks that God will open the eyes of the young man to see that there was already somebody on standby? Help is already there. God is waiting for you to see that your husband is available, that there is a way your debt is paid. So don't think that because you don't see it, it's not available. May God give you eyes to see your victory, to see your helpers, to see all that is assigned to your advantage, already stationary, packed around you. Haven't you ever asked yourself why a man as rich as Abraham would send his son Ishmael with only a bottle of water. I'm sure he sent his son with some angel. He carried the conscience of the ways of God, that this boy doesn't need gold or silver. No, the word has sent him out. He shall be fruitful. I shall make him great. It means that there is an assurance that help is around this boy. It's amazing how sometimes God sends us and we look like we have nothing, because God does not need to send you with gold. He just needs to send you. He doesn't need your qualifications. And some of you, the extra baggage is not necessarily the stuff you carry in your hands. No, it's the extension of the things that you think are connected to you, either by blood or by association, and you think that those things are important in the affairs of how the calling of God will play out in your life. And yet by God, that's not the way of the Spirit. God can send you with nothing. God can send you from nothing. God can send you even when you're not ready. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. The fact that God says go, whether you speak English or not, go. Whether you're short or tall, go. Whether you're qualified or not, go. Just go. Some of you, God is going to intercept your agendas. Something will pounce on you. The pulse of heaven will stir in your spirit and put you on an assignment you were not ready for. In the morning, you think you're taking your brother's bread. In the afternoon, you have defeated Goliath. God can change your program. You can wake up in the morning going to work and you come back a priest. That's why the Message version says you don't need the equipment. He says you are the equipment. Do you know what it means to bypass the person who could make a millionaire, but you are blind to the potential that they carry? Do you know what it's like to be blind to the opportunities that are available for you? Every day you're walking, your help is not far. He opened her eyes and she saw a well. He did not create a well. There is a well of provision. Even when the landlord has chased you away out of the house and he's saying, I'm giving you 3, 4, 5 weeks. Even though you're here and you're struggling to pay tuition, God says help is available. I'm not going to send. It's already there. Your eyes just need to open. If there is a prayer I pray always, I say, God, I thank you, because my eyes are open to see the help available for me. And every time I do that, help comes. And many a time, I don't need to induce it. It comes by its own. Why? Because the prayer has set the law in motion. Number 2, I want to talk about the geometry of the encirclement. Now, the Bible tells us, Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. Then the Lord opened the eyes of the young man and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses. Also, they were around Elisha. Look at this pulpit as a mountain. Below the mountain is a small hill where Dothan is, the city. They come to attack Elisha in Dothan and they surround the city. The eyes of the servant are open and he sees that there are horses and chariots of fire around the mountain. That means they are circling Elisha and God is circling them. Hey, they think they are trapping, they're in an ambush. And on top of that, God also forms an inner ring within the city that also surrounds the prophet. A thief comes to attack your home and they surround the home and God puts a ring outside the thieves. Nothing that has attacked you is going to escape. I speak prophetically. You're not just surrounded. Even the ring they've placed around you has a ring of God around it. That's how God plays. When you come in my circle, not only does he put something to preserve me, but he also puts a ring outside to make sure that when we start fighting, none of you escapes. Your trap for me is an ambush. Ochigudemo, you're in trouble. I'm saying your enemy 2026 is in trouble. Third revelation. The invisible hosts did not do anything in the narrative. The mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. So when the Syrians came down to him, they came to attack. Elisha prayed, listen, and said, strike these people, I pray, with blindness. And he struck them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. No single angelic drew a sword. Not a single Syrian was killed by a chariot. Instead, God used the weapon of the prophet's choice. Let me ask you a question. How do you set a massive weaponized military force, especially one made of fire, and you don't expect a bloodbath? Let me tell you, you have more than you use. You have more than you use. God showed the servant by what he demonstrates through Elisha that even those, it wasn't their time to do anything. They were reserved on top of what the prophet can do. Do you know what it's like for God to give you more than you need? There is a host appointed around the anointed, and they are more powerful than the anointed needs. And you notice Elisha was always conscious of them. Do not fear, for those with us are more than those who are with them. When your eyes are open, you will realize that you're more powerful than you show. And some people think that because we don't show, we don't know. Until the time they cross a line. Let me tell you, they will fear you whether they want it or not. The church has to be feared. I say people need to fear when they're trading in your territory, when they're mentioning your name. If they don't, it's only because they are blind. It doesn't mean that you don't have the potential to cause damage if you have to. Some of you remember the story live. This guy got music and put it next to us and said, boo, boo, boo. I pointed at the speaker. I said, I command that speaker to burn now. Immediately, the equipment burned. Tell your neighbor, I'm dangerous. Now point to the devil in hell and tell him, devil, I'm dangerous. Revelation number 4. God will make your enemies dependent on you for their deliverance. The Syrians are sent to capture a seer, and the seer blinds them, and then he comes to them. He says, let me take you to the right way. You are lost. He led them to Samaria. They were under the power of the prophet. So it was when they came to Samaria that Elisha said, now Lord, open the eyes of these men. You see, the release is on the servant. You wait, there are people. 1 or 2 of them will come and make peace and they are released. And the rest will say, the moment this person went, they were released. And now, the king of Israel saw them, verses 21, and said to Elisha, my father, now he's a father, my father, shall I kill them? He answered and said, you shall not kill them. Would you kill those whom you have taken captive with your sword and bow? What was Elijah's sword and bow? They can do everything and you can say one word only. That's your sword and bow. We shall decree a thing and it shall be established. Whatsoever we bind on the earth, it shall be bound in the heavens. Whatever you lose on the earth, it shall be loosened in the heavens. By your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. We carry the keys of the kingdom. And the moment you understand the way the keys of the kingdom work, you shall say. And the next line says, so the bands of the Syrian raiders came no more into the land of Israel, as long as Elisha was there. The moment you mention Israel, when the enemy's trap becomes their ambush. I'm sure there are people on this ground who say, Pastor, as you are preaching, God has spoken to my heart. I need him in my heart. I need Jesus in my heart. Repeat this as after me. Say, Father God, I thank you for the gift of Jesus who died for my sins.
Phaneroo, make manifest.